So a couple months ago, I had a dream. Now, this dream detailed out, scene by scene, of an experience that was going to happen in my business. Now, I wouldn't even consider myself much of a dreamer. That's not the primary way that God speaks to me. But I did something different when I had this dream, thankfully. I spoke to my husband about it. I said, babe, come check this. And he goes, okay, well, what do you need to do about it? And we just kind of talked around it. Basically, I did nothing about it. I'm not proud to say that. I did nothing about that dream. Come to find out, 2 months later, that exact scenario playing out in my life, in real life, in my business. And I'm like, yo, I have seen this. This looks familiar. And this is not one of those things where you go, oh, this has happened before. No. This was an actual dream. I found a scripture about this. Because sometimes as Christians, God will tell you what's going on. You know, in fact, I heard someone say this: nothing happens in my life without God first revealing it to me. And when he said that, I was just like, yo, that's, you know, the levels to this thing. I must not be on that level because things be happening left, right, and center that I know nothing about. But when he said it, it really did pique my curiosity. And I was just like, whoa, this is interesting. This is good. This is good stuff. Imagine living a life knowing that nobody can, surprise you. Everything you are saying in your life, you know what's going on. You have an idea of what the Spirit of God is saying. Now, Amos 3:7 says, surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plans to his servants, the prophets. Now, when you read a scripture like this on a good day, you may be tempted to go, but I am not his prophet. I am not a man of God. I'm not a woman of God. What's my business with God revealing stuff to me? So here's a basic concept that I wanted to explain to you today. As a professional, as an entrepreneur, as an employer of labor, once you partner up with God in your business, you come into this partnership. That means that your business then becomes under the jurisdiction of heaven, meaning that nothing should take place in your business without you knowing about it. The sooner you come into agreement with that, the easier it is for you to understand and hear the voice of God. Why am I saying all of this? I'm saying this to say that when this situation started playing out in my business, I kind of, was a little hard on myself because I was like, it's not that I didn't know. I saw this coming and I did nothing about it because I didn't believe I was one of those kind of people that God spoke to in that manner. What am I saying? I'm saying that God is probably already speaking to you about your business, about your job, but you're not listening. You're not tuned in. You're not sensitive. You can't even hear. Why? Because you're not expecting, you're not in a place of prayer and fasting. Your spirit is not open and alive. So I want to encourage you, if you're a business owner, if you're an employee, a professional, whatever, and you've partnered up with God, I want you to challenge yourself to say, God, I want you to tell me everything happening in my business before it even happens, everything happening in my job before it happens, and watch what happens when you do that.